Welcome to the Business Buyer Diaries. My name is Nathan Platter. I'm a full-time employee, and I bought a business. I did everything right, from finding the deal, handling all the due diligence on 63 opportunities, and ultimately bought a profitable gym. And boy, was I in for a big surprise as a new owner. I chronicled everything in real time, including the biggest wins to the stressful nights at 2 a.m. I'm sharing my journey without sugarcoating anything, so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Here's today's episode. All right, we are live. The podcast has been published. We are launched. We are good to go. What does that mean for us? That means the podcast is officially on Apple, Spotify, and everywhere the podcast can be heard. That's pretty exciting. It only took me 260 episodes to finally do it. So the backstory, about 2 weeks ago, I got invited to guest speak someone else's podcast, the Acquisitive Podcast with Daniel Talbot and Sarah Sharp. Phenomenal experience. Glad I was there. Very honored. At the end, realized he asked me like, "Hey, do you want us to plug your podcast, your content?" I said, "Yes, I need to have a podcast and content to plug. So let me publish my thing, and then I'll give you the links and all that." So scrambled, very quickly figured out. Needed to get an intro. Needed to get some artwork done. So I hired a musician, Wes Schrock, to do some of the intro music. I did some voiceovers, and then I just went to ChatGPT and we got the podcast title or the artwork done from there. So very scrappy. It goes along with my style of figure it out as you go, just enough to keep the ball rolling and figure it out one step at a time. And that's how I roll. That's how we're doing this. That's how we're running this business. That's how we're being an employee and a business owner and working with a team all at once. So it's not a professional. It's not the way to do it, but it's my way I'm doing it because that resonates with how this brand is starting, how this origin story is beginning. And so that's what makes sense along the way. Right now, I've finally upgraded. I got a fancy microphone. Hopefully the audio comes through better. At least I hope it does. And historically, I've been just recording in my truck through a Bluetooth speakerphone or through like a little clip-on chest thing. If I could have gone back in hindsight, what I should have done, my audio guy, Wes, he said, "Hey, like the audio's clipping, it's maxing out. See if you can get something with a gain on it, like a gain or a dial or a way to do different like audio styles." I should have plopped down $300 to get a good audio setup. I didn't do it. I plopped down $20. And you can probably tell for the longest while, it felt cheap. It felt bad. It was not the quality that is up to my standards. However, it was enough to get things going and to start documenting the journey. So we're just going to roll with it because everyone's got a story. And for better or worse, that's that story. I don't know where I heard it, but I've heard that audio and your microphone is like putting on deodorant when you're talking with someone through like a webcam or like on a phone, and you got to wear deodorant or you just smell like BO and nobody wants to interact with you. So hindsight, I should have plopped down $300, bought a good audio system, something to where my voice comes through nicely. Oh, well, that's what we're working with. So the podcast is launched. I'm going to release the first 100 episodes really fast because I'm speaking next in a couple weeks to a bunch of folks that own like not apartments, but like rental houses, Airbnbs, some apartments. And I don't want to say like, "Hey guys, check out my first 20 episodes. That sounds lame. I would say, "Hey, check out the first 100 episodes. That'll get you from LOI to due diligence to underwriting to the deal closing. If you want more paid content, check out the sponsors. If you want more coaching, here's the links. If you want to hear how the story goes afterwards, got to wait for the releases." Right now, I'm at 260 episodes. I've released 12. So I'm going to release probably 5 episodes a day. And that'll get us up to 100 by the time I'm speaking at the next thing. And I'll just release 2 a day. And then if I do nothing for brand new content creation, that'll take me like 4 months. If I mapped it out correctly, it'll take me 4 months. If I'm still writing these episodes, I'm still going to be recording them. So it'll take me 5 or 6 months to get caught up to real time. 6 months from now, we're going to be doing that annual PIF sale. So we're going to be in a good spot. And I'm going to celebrate the win. I've been recording these. I've been backlogging these. In the sales world, they call it sandbagging, dog. Sandbagging is where you have a deal, you have a pipeline, you've got something juicy in the hopper, and you're not releasing it because you want to hit your boosters, your accelerators. You want to start getting your double quota met so that your commissions are fat and juicy. And I've intentionally been sandbagging these because I didn't know how I want to take this, how I want to roll with this. what I wanted the story arc to be. It's still recording, but I'm releasing the journals, the diaries, the inner workings of my brain and the confusion and the anxiety and the newfound confidence. I still do not to this day know how this is all going to turn out. I don't know if this gym is going to survive. I don't know how I'm going to pay off the loan. I got texts over the weekend from the sellers like, hey, bro, if you want to pay off the seller finance notes early, you're welcome to save some money on interest. And part of it wants to be like, back off, brother. I'm not paying you $1 early. You put me in a pigeonhole. You robbed me from, you cut the marketing short. You left me with a low-hanging group later, so you put me 7 months behind schedule. You think I'm rolling in dough? I am 60 grand in the hole, brother. And I'm just not going to engage. And so I'm just went back, hey, thanks for the offer. Nope, we're going to go with what we've done historically. And if you're going to play that game, if you're going to follow the contract as it's written, I'm going to follow the contract as it's written. I am not going to do you any favors. But anyhow, that's a distraction from today's episode. I don't know how this gym's going to go. I really don't know how it's going to turn profitable. We're going to have incredible challenges. We're going to have stellar turnout for memberships. I've got a killer team that are just rising to the occasion. They're crushing it. I'm going to invest in member experience. I'm going to invest in marketing, heavily into marketing and sales, making sure we have a tip-top shape leads and sales process. I don't know if that's going to be enough I don't know how this is all going to go. I really don't. And so part of me doing this is to monetize other sides of this. Some referrals for the sales agency. You probably heard about them in the ads by now. Doing some courses. I'd love to land some speaking engagements. I'd love to also do some coaching. I want to monetize this whole thing as much as I possibly can so the gym can stay afloat. This community is incredible. And if you haven't seen the stories on social media or heard about it from me enough, then I'm doing a terrible job promoting who our people are. My job is to monetize this thing as much as possible and to pay my people as much as possible and to deliver as much value as possible. To underperform and to just coast through life like vanilla ice cream is garbage. That is not who I am. That's not my calling. That's not my purpose. That's not why I'm here. So that's what we're doing. That's where we're at right now. So we're going to invest in some better audio equipment. We're going to get some better things for these challenge parties. We're going to overload the sales team with phenomenal quality leads. I'm going to do some partnerships and some product development. I want this club to survive. I really do. And I'm going to figure out how to do it because right now the obvious way of just stuffing it full of members is not as black and white and cut and dry as I want it to be. So I'm going to figure out secondary ways to make this work. If you've got a restaurant that's not surviving on steak and potatoes, you start a bar, you start selling desserts, you start selling appetizers so that the restaurant can stay afloat and serve the community. That is what I'm doing. My job, let's follow the analogy here. My job as a restaurant owner is to make sure we serve as many patrons, employ as many staff, and have as healthy of a business as we possibly can. And if that means inventing new desserts, appetizers, add-ons, and a whole new cocktail, mocktail, THC water section to the menu because steak and potatoes is not cutting it, then darn it, I'm going to do that. I'm going to build a kick-ass bar, and we're going to have a phenomenal dessert section. That's my job as the owner, and to make sure that our team has a solid area to make it all happen. That's my job, and I'm going to own it because that is my duty as the owner. I'm excited. I'm stoked. Podcast is released. Let's rock and roll, baby. Let's rock and roll. This has been another episode of the Business Buyer Diaries. Subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. I hope you're realizing that business ownership is no cakewalk. Check the podcast notes for a link to the DIY due diligence program, the complete list of show sponsors, and for media inquiries. Music written and composed by Wes Schrock. I'm your host, Nathan Platter. Join me again on the next one.